All right, so let's go over how quantizing and the grid works in Serato Studio. This is where you can find the quantize option here. So if I zoom in here and you have different options, you can select quarter, eighth, 16th, and 32. So this is dealing particularly with quantizing the notes that are inputted into the grid. And I'm gonna give you a demonstration of that in a few moments. So I got my hi-hat here loaded. And what I'm going to do at a tempo of 160, and I'm using the slab controller, so I can actually switch a lot of the functions from the controller itself. So I can increase, see the quantize value of it. Go back to 1/4. I'm going to give you a demonstration of how the grid works in recording this quantize value here. So I'm going to hit record, and I do have to click track on so you can hear it. And it's going to go with quarter notes, and we're going to see what happens from here. As you can see, I'll take off the recording, and I'll take off the metronome. You can see it's doing quarter notes. Perfect, right? Because we had it set for quarter notes, right? So as you can see, that worked just fine. It recorded the notes of the note repeat just fine with that set at quarter notes division for quantize. But what if I change the note repeat on the slab? Now watch this. I'm gonna change it from quarter to eighth, right? So my slab is set at eighth notes. The grid, as you can hear right here, it's going a lot faster, right? But the grid for quantize recording is set at what? Quarter. You're going to see what happens here. See, it only recorded quarter notes because the grid is set for what? Quarter note recording, even though my note repeat was given an eighth notes. So that's one thing you got to keep in mind on the Serato Studio when it comes to this quantize section for recording, that if you have it set for quarter notes and you're trying to put in eighths, it's only going to record quarter notes. So you got to keep that in mind. So my workaround to that is I just go here into the quantize value and I just set it to the highest, 30-second notes, right? So we'll do 30-second notes here. You can also do it from the slab if you hold shift, and there's a underneath scene size, there's a quantize value, and you can just quickly change it there. But I normally keep it there, so I don't really mess with that button too much because I keep it at 32. Now, so we're going to clear it out. And now we're going to try that same recording at my 60 BPM, and we're going to see if it's going to record those what? Eighth notes. Let's try it. Stop that, clear that out, and we're going to try a faster division on this slab. And to change the note repeat division on the slab, you hold the note repeat button down, and the first encoder to the top left, you just want to spin that around. You're going to see the different divisions you can select for the note repeat. I'm going to change it to 16th notes. Let's see if it can record those clearly. Let's go ahead and try that. Wow, no problem. As you can see, as long as our grid quantize value is set to the highest it can go, whatever quantize value I set on the slab is recorded properly. Let's change it to 30 seconds, 1/32 of a note. Let's go. Same thing. Let's see if it records it. And that perfectly. And you saw what the grid did? It switched it to have more beats to fit inside when I did it that way. And you can actually get to that from here. So I'll show you. We'll click on that grid. It's going to light up purple, and you're going to see it went to ×2. If I go to 1, you see it's going to do it that way. It gave me more divisions on the grid. And it automatically did it with the slab when I recorded the 30-second notes, right? As you can hear, that's a triplet, so try to record that in. As you can see, it's not doing triplets, right? Let's clear that out. And on the grid, if you see here, they do have an option for triplets. You have to actually select it here. It doesn't dynamically do it like it did with the 16th notes and 30-second notes, right? It didn't automatically do it, right? So we'll go ahead and enable that, and let's see how accurate it can be at this particular section. So I'm going to still try that, the note repeat value of 1/16 triplets on the slab, and let's see what happens. Let's turn back on quantize. I turned it off by accident, and let's see what happens here. You see? It's adding like its own swing to it. I noticed that when using the software that it doesn't properly time it. It's almost like it's not a dynamic grid. And I can give you an example of a dynamic grid. With the MPC, when I set to a triplet and I press it on there, it's like the grid automatically switches to triplets. I don't have to press this button. It automatically switches and records triplets right on time. This one, for some odd reason, when it comes to triplets, it does not do it on time. I tried so many times. I end up having to just take it off the quantize value. You can turn off quantize by holding shift and pressing the select all button on the slab. That turns off the quantize, as you can see. I'll do it again. Hold shift, press select all. It could turn it on, toggles it on and off. So turned it off. You can also just press it with the mouse as well. So now let's try to record some triplets. I still got the triplet button on, here. So let's see if it works. Go to the click. As you can see, it did a way better job than before. When I had that quantize on, it way better job. You can see it actually placed it in the right spot. So that's one workaround you can do for who's ever using the slab with Serato, or even if you're using another type of controller with Serato. That's one way to get around it, to throw in those triplet notes. You just have to turn off that quantize mode and play it in manually. I wish it had more of a dynamic mode like the MPC, where whatever I set on the slab, it automatically records in Studio. But I know the MPC, their integration and their software is a little different. So there's another workaround I have as well. This is dealing with having higher values than the 30-second, right? Because what if I want to go really fast, right? Right now I'm at a tempo of 60. Here to the top left corner, I'm at a tempo of 60. What if I wanted to have 64 notes, right? I go to note repeat. I'm gonna turn it on my slab to 132nd. What if I want to go faster than that? I can't, right? The highest rate it can go on the slab is a 30-second note. So how do you get around it? Well, one way to get around it, I've been applying this to a lot of things, even with the MPC workflow. When I had my MPC for a while, I would record at a double the tempo. Right now, I'm at 60 BPM, as you can see here. I normally go to 120, and you can change the tempo when you're in the encoder mode, the deck parameter mode. The first knob changes the tempo. You just turn it up and down, right? I can also tap in the tempo by pressing the knob down. See, just pressing that first knob down, it also taps the tempo. So I'm gonna just double the tempo here because I'm not really tapping in because I know I was at 60. So I'm just gonna bring it to 120 just by turning the knob. But you can tap it in if you ever wanted to know how do I tap tempo on the slab. The first encoder, you just press it down, and it keep pressing it down. It'll calculate the tempo, and then I just round it off by turning it up or down, depending on where the tempo falls at. So let's bring it back to 120, and now you're gonna see when I do that note repeats a lot faster. I'm kind of getting 64 notes, even though my note repeats at 30-second note repeat on the slab. So I'm getting that faster kind of 64 note repeat in there, right? And the good thing is it can record it as well. So let's show you. As you can see, it recorded it with no problem at that. I was able to get that faster note repeat that most people may want in certain styles of music. Now that we can get that faster option there, we can actually do some unique stuff where I can go change the note repeat value on the slab to 1/16. Of course, I'm in. First, let's go to 1/8. We'll do that. And then I'll do different values and show you how it works. Okay, so now let's go to note repeat. We're going to add some 16ths in. See? Now we're going to change it. Let's add some 30-second notes in. Right there. See? Add some. Now what if I want to add some triplets, right? I can do something like that, right? Add some triplets. So I'm gonna change the note value. Remember, I have to turn off that quantize part at the top because it's not going to add it in properly. And I'm going to just manually clear out this section right here to add it at the end. So it's going to go like that, something like that, right? Turn off that quantize, and let's see what happens. Perfect. You can see the notes landing perfectly. And I didn't have the third on either, as you can see. It just, with the input quantize off, it just landing on when they're falling on that grid. Now, I'm going to undo that, and we'll turn on that triplets option there too. And let's see how it feels with the triplet option. I'm going to turn it on, and let's see. And I'm going to turn on the quantize. I'm curious. I want to try something and see. See, it's still going to swing it. I kind of figured. It just swings it. I think they just need to fix it. It just swings it. Oh, let me undo that. And just undo those three notes. Now, let's go ahead and take off that quantize. Watch it lands right on point. I played that off though, but it still was good timing. See, it just landing there properly. It just landing there, right on point. And I wish, like I said, it was more dynamic. Would automatically add all these little slices there automatically when you change the note repeat value. When it detects a different note repeat value than what's in this quantize section at the top. I think that's really what they need to implement. I think MPC kind of has that already. It'll automatically just add those triplet notes, those other notes right in between those particular pieces that you have, right? It'll it automatically adds it with the quantize on. So you don't have to keep trying to perfect it when you want something to be right on, smack on the grid, right? So when it comes to those triplet notes, hopefully they can implement more of a dynamic grid that adjusts to the slab when you're changing it there. Because when you're like with MPC, you can switch the note repeat like to different values on the fly, and it just automatically just adjusts the value of the grid to that when you're switching it. It does it in real time. And I love how Serato Studio software is. Most of it is a flow. You can just get into it and just get in the flow. There are some other things I'm going to discuss in other videos that I want to talk about. Until then, hope y'all able to learn from this video, and peace.